Now let me turn to somebody who has seen the US from the US soil. That is Ambassador Meera Shankar. Meera, 2 days back in the Times of India, Kanti Bajpayee had commented that the visit has reset, if not rebooted, India-US relations. But he doesn't rule out that the relations might go wrong again. Is the current positive phase in Indo-US relations irreversible? This question. My second question is, both leaders were talking about its global partnership between India and the US. Are the two countries on the same pace, or let's say a couple of issues like Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, and China? That's in their
Well, thank you, Surinder. I have looked at the US from US soil, as you said. Now I'm looking at it from Indian soil. So I don't know if that gives me another perspective. I would rate the visit as extremely positive and certainly resetting the relationship. I think the moment of transformation in the relationship was really the India-US nuclear deal, when both countries really strove to change the international regime for India. But thereafter, the relationship faltered and seemed to have hit a plateau, with both countries' leadership preoccupied with their domestic priorities, international crises, and so on. So it is really positive that there appears to be a reset of the relationship, and that the relationship is now back on the rails. And that you have leaders in both countries who are taking ownership of the relationship. I would say that the relationship has focused in some sense on the broader strategic aspect of the relationship, with the vision statement for the Asia-Pacific and the Indian Ocean, building on the convergences between the two countries in the broader Asia-Pacific area. Now, in the past, there has been some recognition of these convergences, but I think a hesitation in putting them in the public domain so clearly. So I think this marks a departure from that strategic hesitation or strategic ambiguity, if you will, which characterized the two countries tiptoeing around their convergences in the past, but now they have basically stated their convergence publicly. Secondly, on issues of defense, you have a new defense framework agreement which will be valid for 10 years, which looks at strengthening maritime security cooperation. And while Lieutenant General Rajinder Singh has mentioned that some of the technology collaboration is perhaps not at a very sophisticated level, I would say that it's a breakthrough, because till now we were really not concretizing any project for technology collaboration. Now, if you look at the defense relationship, it's grown from one where there were only military exercises and discussions and exchange of personnel, to one where we are actually buying arms from the US, and around $10 billion worth of equipment has been purchased, with the US, according to Janes, becoming the largest equipment supplier last year to India. But this has been mainly in the area of transport aircraft and surveillance equipment, really not in strike or offensive equipment. And perhaps that's also been the choice of the Indian government, if I may say that, in some way, because a comfort level has to be established. Now, with the Defense Technology and Trade Initiative, the export control regime for India has been changed, and so now we are treated on par with the US's closest partners, that is one notch below an ally. When I went there, we were treated on par with Sudan, and so the regime for exporting to India was extremely complex. Now it's easier, and taking it one step further, the two countries have agreed to go beyond a buyer-seller relationship into one of technology collaboration, joint development, joint production, and so on. But that was just a theoretical framework. For the first time, you have some pilot projects which will give flesh to this. And I suppose they'll take it from there, depending on the kind of success they have, depending on the kind of trust and confidence which is established in the process. But it's a new area that we're entering, and I don't think we should minimize that. I think on the nuclear issue, there's been an effort by both sides to move pragmatically. As Rajiv Kumar said, the Indian government was not in a position to amend the liability law, keeping the nuclear liability law in place. The governments have tried to work pragmatically around the difficulties, both in terms of the issue of equipment supplier liability, on which they've created an insurance pool, and on the question of tort, which meant that any third party could engage in litigation, where there will be a clarification. There's some ambiguity still on the administrative arrangements. On the economic side, I would say the governments have done well to skirt some of the issues where there has been contestation between the two sides. Otherwise, they would have got stuck in those trade disputes. But they've tried to take the larger business picture. The bilateral investment treaty negotiations will be resumed. On a totalization agreement, which is in India's interest, not much progress, because all they've agreed to do is to discuss the elements which might enable discussions on a totalization treaty. So still one step removed from actually beginning discussions on a treaty. Overall, I would say an extremely positive visit, high on both symbolism and on substance. Thank you.